What if the thing that looks like a setback is actually the doorway to your calling? What if the prison you didn't deserve is the place God uses to prepare you? Stay to the end, because this story will show you exactly what to do when life gets unfair and faith starts to feel expensive. How do you stay faithful when obedience costs you and doing the right thing seems to make everything worse? Joseph didn't arrive in Egypt as a hero. He arrived as property sold by his own brothers, bought by strangers who didn't share his God. He had no title, no platform, no safety net, just a calling he couldn't yet prove. But Scripture drops one sentence like thunder. The Lord was with Joseph, and that changes everything. Because when God is with a person, even exile becomes an assignment. Joseph is purchased by Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. He's carried into a house filled with power, politics, and idols, where a Hebrew slave is expected to just disappear into the background. Joseph serves quietly at first. There's no applause, no vindication, no explanation. Just daily work done with a heart that refuses to rot, because faith is proven in the places where nobody claps. Potiphar begins to notice. The household runs smoother, the fields flourish, the livestock multiplies, because Joseph carried the presence of the living God into every corner of that estate. Sometimes God blesses an unbeliever's house simply because a faithful believer is inside it. So Potiphar promotes him. Again and again, until Joseph holds the keys to everything. With Joseph there, Potiphar stops worrying about a thing, except maybe what's for dinner. But elevation brings attention, and attention attracts temptation. Joseph is young, handsome, well-built, and Potiphar's wife watches him. Like a predator watches prey. "Come and sleep with me," she demands. So, what do you do when temptation offers comfort but costs you your soul? Joseph could have told himself the usual lies. "No one will know. I've suffered enough. God owes me." But character stands up when desire tries to knock you down. Joseph refuses. "My master trusts me," he says. "How could I do this wicked thing and sin against God?" Because temptation isn't only about pleasure, it's about betrayal. Betrayal of trust, betrayal of calling, and betrayal of the God who never left you when others did. Day after day, she pressures him. But Joseph does what wisdom requires. He tries to avoid her. But one day, when no one else was around, she grabs his cloak. "Sleep with me!" Joseph tears himself away, leaving his cloak behind, and runs. Some victories are won by running away. But she doesn't hang her head in shame. She weaponizes the evidence of his innocence. She screams, calls the servants, and spins a lie. "The Hebrew slave tried to assault me." When Potiphar returns, she repeats the story with rehearsed fury, holding Joseph's cloak like a trophy. Potiphar burns with rage, and Joseph, who did nothing but serve faithfully, is thrown into prison. Let that settle in. He went to prison because he did the right thing. So what do you do when obedience leads to loss? Scripture says it again. But the Lord was with Joseph, not only in the palace, but in the prison. Because God doesn't abandon his people when the story gets dark. Sometimes he allows you to go low, not to break you, but to position you where what's inside you can't stay hidden. Even in prison, Joseph stays steady, still faithful, still excellent in all he is tasked to do. The warden notices that same quiet strength and soon places Joseph in charge of the entire prison. Joseph lost his cloak, but he kept his calling. And this is where we'll end part 2, right here in the shadows. Because part 3 is where the prison starts to make sense. This period of adversity will reveal its purpose, and what was meant to bury Joseph will begin to lift him. If you're in a season that feels unfair, hear this. Joseph's story points forward to Jesus, the innocent one betrayed, falsely accused, and brought low. And yet, God used that suffering to bring salvation to the world. So don't quit in the dark. Stay with God, even in the shadows, because the same Lord who was with Joseph is with you right now. Thanks for watching. If this story encouraged you, Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 3.